going to 1v1 a Loki. It just does not exist. You can't stun out anything. You just have a root in that regard. So he's going to have to dial it back a little bit unless his team plays.
They are here just one set away from the grand finals, and already, Ro, I'm seeing some super interesting stuff going on. I know the desk broke.
It can be used both ways. He can blink to one of his teammates to get in range of that Capriol as well. So it can be used both ways, but no other engagement tools on the side of Jade Dragon. So it's really important for him to get that blink so he can find an engagement on what would normally be a very support-esque character.
Well, Sam has already finished up his Doom or Variety in a lot of trouble. Crushing Wave off the mark, pulling back Sam. Trying to find some more damage, but Variety is really far up a creek. No paddle available to him. Captain Twig has made his way over, though, hits the invisibility, but look at the damage coming back in return. Forced to wall away.
Yeah, if we're talking about that blink, hopefully they can get to the point where they feel they are strongest.
Hopefully that'll be sometime soon for them. The Jade Dragons really starting to amass this lead, and Twig once again getting caught out. The tick from the Suns is going to put him in vision range, but there's Pagon with the snipe under the tower. Assassinate does not save the life of the jungler this time.
Just the tip from Pagon as well. What a perfectly aimed snipe, and it took a while for Twig to find the spot where he could ult over, knowing he's going to ult over as well. Channel that ultimate ready, and then as soon as Loki comes over, fire it off.
And this is one of the main disadvantages. Actually, hold on, Variety dies just instantly. Sam for Soccer showing us the power of the Habois. Only 28 stacks on that Warlock staff, so not a lot of HP for Variety.
Great reaction time from Polar Bear Mike.
Absolutely, but that does mean he doesn't have it available to him, though. Variety still in a lot of trouble. Has to go up into the coffin. Stun Sam for Soccer, but PBM right here. The heal from Variety will save his life for now. And that is the one thing we haven't seen happen so far. Sam has been able to weave these ganks in to when Variety doesn't have that heal available to him. Netrioid doesn't have any healing either, and Panda Cat doesn't miss a single auto attack. The root off the mark, and Panda walks through, and the bounce isn't going to connect, but that auto will. The 1v1 from Panda Cat.
What a solo kill from him, and not his first of the tournament either. Netroid being abused for using that global ultimate, using his CC immunity, and unfortunately Netroid missing the root, stopping the bleeding, making sure Netroid doesn't fall too far behind, but Variety on the other hand is in trouble.
Still trying to find Panda Cat though. Captain Twig gets eviscerated, caught between a Hou-Yi and a wall, but Panda Cat is still going to get caught out by Netroid. Surely no way out for the ADC, but Polar Bear Mike around the side. Panda Cat is having to fight Genetics, and the stun should be able to help Hou-Yi get out in that situation. PBM has to watch while the red buff gets taken away, but still, what a win for Polar Bear Mike.
Polar Bear Mike's for it, but like I was saying, Kings still scaling to the point where they are happy to team fight. Big Man Kings taking the early rotations to that Gold Fury and an early rotation to the duel.
Panda Cat's going to get stunned out there, has to jump away. Captain Twig looking to go straight back down onto him. Assassinate comes through, and Panda Cat is going to be the first target in this engagement. Polar Bear Mike once again trapped in the water, but is able to blink away. That blink being used so cleanly from PBM every single time.
Genetics not quite learning his lesson yet. He needs to get those auto attacks on Polar Bear Mike if he wants to keep him trapped in there. Netroid, I think, has been tipped off from this gank.
Maybe it's just like a muscle memory thing. Genetics ends up in a wash. No one from the Jade Dragons wants to commit too heavily, but that will open up the Primal Fury. Netroid and Genetics are looking to rotate in.
This one should be free, but there is a chance at a small steal here.
There's going to be the Jade Dragon securing it up. That final judgment, just truly an insane piece of secure. Polar Bear Mike might pay for it with his life, but I'm sure he doesn't mind sacrificing himself for the Gold Fury.
Yeah, and we're talking about sacrificing, that's right. FinoK was backing, wasn't even trying to help. Pagon walking away towards mid. I imagine Polar Bear Mike
for this game so far, the Kings. It's 21 minutes in, Ro, and what do the Kings like to do in this early situation? It is the Fire Giant, already half HP, but Fino is in the wall, looking to just do some disruption, and it will be enough so far to keep the Camelot Kings out. But Fino's still in this wall, potentially gets caught out here. The beat's expended, and now the pullback should be able to find the life of the Cleo. The Aegis is used, but it's not going to be enough. FinoK falls down.
I was waiting for the Capriol, but Polar Bear Mike not actually in range there, coming out of base. So a good opportunity for Kings to pull that Fire Giant, force FinoK in to get them off that Fire Giant, and then capitalize and pull him back in. They aren't giving him that chance right now. They're keeping up the pressure so he cannot back.
It is just a Pyromancer though, so not the worst thing in the world. if the Camelot Kings do have to give it up. They don't want to let it go for free, though. Genetics stepping up is a good example of that. PBM is going to get pulled back. There's the stun. Damage comes through. Jade Dragons do secure the objective, but Polar Bear Mike falls down, and so does FineOK. The Assassinate in the side is going to clear the Cleo, and now diving forward. Netrio trying to find the damage. Off the mark is Pagon, and look at that! Wall of water catches the entire Jade Dragons in the wall.
A deicide right before they get to the strongest point of their team comp. Kings could not be happier right now. A Fire Giant, the only thing they could really want is an EFG, but a Fire Giant at 24 minutes when a bunch of towers are yet to be taken as well. They're going to get a huge gold lead out of this. They're going to hit their item spikes at the same time. Auto attacks is Netroid, who will be able to burn down this Phoenix in an instant. Variety getting very confident here now that he has Lalone as well.
Pulling back, Polar Bear Mike, and already is in the ground, and the Riptide's gonna keep him back for more. No Scarab's blessing to save the life of the support. Captain Twig blinking forward, looking to find the damage on the San Francisco, but the return is gonna be good. Netrioid forced down to half HP as well, but this is gonna be fine, okay. Falling down next, 3 remaining defenders here. The Jade Dragons have to do the impossible, and the Camelot Kings,
they'll stay.
They're waiting around for a little bit. They're looking for that left Oni wave to push through, and at the moment, the Jade Dragons have to get distracted. The healing from Genetics is pouring in. The Camelot Kings are too, and now the Titan is the main focus. There's the River's Rebuke. Up and down goes Netroid, trying to slow down everyone he can. But the Jade Dragons, no option left. Kings take game 1.
Very smart and calculated play from that group of players. They don't push their lead.
Chernobog and Habwa over for FineOK and Sam in that right side. Do you imagine similar to last game where they wanted to put pressure over there? Maybe we'll see that happen over here once again in game number 2. Do or die for the Jade Dragons. A loss here means they go home. Can they bring it back in game 2?
And that is the question, J-Mac. We've already seen the Camelot Kings play so dominantly in game number 1. Jade Dragons have to pull some stuff out of the bag.
Make sure Jade Dragons don't get much of an early lead. This time, Polar Bear Mac really going to force this lead.
Up onto the coffin goes Variety, but not able to find the immunity. Has to do some dodging, but no amount of fancy footwork is going to save you from Sam Fasaka's jazz hands.
Well played by Polar Bear Mike there. I think, correct me if I'm wrong about this, or maybe
attacking them now. Go do that.
And it's not like they really need the AoE or the healing from Terra. They have that from Baron. Meanwhile, Pagon actually cashing Captain Twig here.
No silence available, and I think the destruction should be on the board for Captain Twig, but that is where Serket shines. This is the big counter, ladies and gentlemen, right there. A tale as old as time. Serket versus Kali.
There is a reason we don't see the Serket often. She's traditionally Scorpion Zone, and this is where they often make up a lot of their global gold.
Already able to find some rotations, though. The Jade Dragons are on their way in, and the Camelot Kings have to drop it for now. Pagon able to get a pretty decent ult onto BMT, who does have to leap over the wall. Pagon, though, in some trouble, but scratch that. It's not Pagon at all. Variety is the name of the first casualty of war.
We're talking about Kings not overextending. You know, they're not so strong in this early game, especially with this draft. But this time, Polar Bear Mike's ultimate comes straight back up, and he's able to fight again, and they're still looking.
PBM, I would say he might be in trouble, but it's going to be Twig once again. The damage turned onto him. So potent from this Jade Dragons roster, and at the moment, that is what this team is bringing.
The ones that were pushing up and pressuring this Scorpion when they were at risk of dying like that. Variety still has no beads. His ultimate really isn't much use against the Serket, so they have to respect it more.
Captain Twig once again getting caught out, and he's dead before he hits the ground. The Jade Dragons abuse this lack of vision the Camelot Kings have in their own jungle.
And this is, we talked about the tipping point, you know, when you get to that 4K lead and you could transition.
And that is what the Camelot Kings have done, even in mid, even in the dual lane as well.
But they just need a couple kills to be able to pull objectives. Polar Bear Mike might be a kill himself.
Ooh, yeah, definitely in a bad position. Already used all of his mobility, rooted back down. There's the stun, there's the kill. Captain Twig puts the first one on the board for the Kings.
And they're still hunting too, but this time Variety, I don't think I'm able to catch them, but the sprint will help.
Hammer axe off the mark, but jumping in, Genetics looking to find more. Sam Fasaka, the second one. Double kill for Captain Twig, and FineOK jumps in just to have to get out. And it looks like the Pyromancer could be the play for the Kings.
And all of a sudden, just as we see it last game, Kings, as soon as they get torn to maybe ult Genetics, for example, who's able to get his CC immunity off. And now, FineOK at risk.
Genetics and Captain Twig moving over, and the damage that's coming out onto FineOK. No wall available for him. Destruction Captain Twig finds a one, now looking to find a little bit extra. There's the stinger from PBM to try and stop Captain Twig from getting away. It's not going to be successful. Captain Soccer getting pulled back in here, but instead finds a Polar Bear Mike. Beautiful body blocking from the support player. Sam could still be in danger. Variety charging forward, still surging to find more. Genetics leaps through into the backline, but through the wall goes Pagon. And that should be the end of aggression from the Camelot Kings. Pagon, though, he's in a bad position. The Kings looking to potentially flank, but they're going to back off. This could be a Fire Giant.
This is a confident call, an ambitious call, I would say. I think Pagon has a good chance to disrupt this.
Pagon, though, he's caught out by Captain Twig, and the damage that comes through is insane. Isn't able to walk into the wall, the damage too hard. But Netrioid now in so much trouble. PandaCat lands down from the airstrike into the axe, and Variety picks that one up.
I'm calling it now. I think this may be an overconfident call from me, but I'm glad to be wrong because I want this game to go 3 sets. But I think this is Kings all the way. They're exactly where they want to be.
Fine, okay, dashing through the wall. Did use that ultimate to try and find some more aggression, but nothing. Actually, a small morale victory as BFT potentially getting caught out here is the target, but he's way too fast for Fino to find the damage. Netrioid, though, can't quite say the same. The Vuvuzelas are active, but he's taking a lot of damage. Tick, tick, boom! Polar Bear Mike falls down. Pagon follows him into the grave, and Fino K is able to find one before getting traded out. Sam is down, and now it's just Fino and PandaCat, the 2 ADCs from the Jade Dragons, running away. Big Man Tings, who was the original target of this fight, is gonna get the turnaround. PandaCat falls down, and now it's just Fino by himself.
You have to feel for Jade Dragons right here. An understandably desperate move because of what they're up against. The Kings were close to getting a Fire Giant. They could get another one soon, but they might not even need it. They could go ahead and end the game at just after 24 minutes in this later game meta with a later game team pump because Jade Dragons doubled
Not a giant amount of follow-up, but it is decent poke, and there's not really much healing on the way of the Jade Dragons. Variety here doing a fair amount to PandaCat here as well. PBM caught out. There's going to be the stun, but no follow-up. Meanwhile, the rest of the Kings are on Sam for Soccer, and the wave is going to save him for now. But up the top side, Pagon falls, PBM falls, and now the Camelot Kings are surging down the mid lane, trying to find this end game. Only one Titan and 3 members of the Jade Dragons stand between the Camelot Kings and the Tartarus Titans. They've broken through the base, but Netrioid takes a huge chunk of damage from Fino K, and that's already going to sound the retreat bell.
Okay, that'll let them breathe a little bit, but they're still going to be up against the Fire Giant this time.
Yeah, they don't know that the Jade Dragons... Sorry, the Camelot Kings know that they're there, but the Jade Dragons don't. Polar Bear Mike gets caught out. There's the ultimate through from Shibalanke, looking to make everyone blind on the enemy team, and PBM able to get the stinger off, but Genetics finds the first blood, and now Pagon stuck in this wall. He's got to pop out sometime, someplace, and he will surely fall down when he does, trying to just find an opening. Captain Twig and the rest of the team, he's just running out of health at this point. He's got to pop out, but surely he falls down. Nimble strike, incense off the mark. Pagon may be able to get out here. He's been able to avoid capture.
Pagon essentially invisible there because he takes the vision away from Captain Twig. Captain Twig throws out his AoE ability but doesn't catch Pagon in it. That's a big commitment from Polar Bear Mike and a big commitment from the rest of the Jade Dragons. Not a bad rotation behind his life earlier on. He won't be able to be too confident around this Uller. If he finds an axe, then probably just one-shot him.
Genetics posturing up, looking for some damage, but it's going to be the Dragons who are able to output some of it onto Variety and himself. But here it is, Ro. This is the end push. Everyone's grouped up. Frenzy is popped. There's the Coerce and the Titan. It doesn't matter how many of the Jade Dragons are around it. It will fall down because worst case scenario, Captain Twig is invincible and the Kings charge down and win the game.
Great play from them this set to move on to the finals. They're up against the Titans now. We saw